So I want to find the next three terms and then find an expression for the a sub n term. And so sometimes I'll write it like this, blank, blank, blank. So the next term is going, first of all, is it positive or negative? Positive. And the numerator looks like it'll be 5. The denominator looks like it should be 25 plus 11. How'd you get that?
It's adding 5 instead of 9.
Okay, so here's a pattern. It's adding 5 to the denominator, and then 7, and then 9. And so the next one would be 11, if you follow in that pattern. Jose, is that the pattern you saw?
Yes.
Okay. So it's going to be what? 36. How about the next term? Negative 5 over 49. Did anybody see a different pattern for the denominator?
N plus 1 squared.
It's the squared numbers. 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, 5 squared, 6 squared, 7 squared. The next one, if I use, both patterns work, by the way. What's the next term going to be? 5 over 64. So to write the expression for the a sub n term, I'm going to use the squared pattern, although you could work through it either way. So I'm going to do this little chart. The nth term, when n is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'll do dot, 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 n, dot, dot, dot. We're looking for an expression for the a sub n term. And for that, when n is 1, it was 5 over 4. If I start n at 1. When n was 2, it was negative 5 over 9. When n was 3, it's positive 5 over 16. And I want to kind of look for some relationship. The first one I'm going to write 5 over 2 squared. Look for some relationship between what's happening with the term and the term number. So that's negative 5 over 3 squared. The third one was positive 5 over 4 squared. You got 3 things going on here. You have the alternating sign with the negatives. Well, I'm saying 3 things. I guess it's really 2, because what's numerator all the time? 5. So I don't have to worry about that. That's always 5. And the denominator is something squared. How does that something that you're squaring relate to the term number? It's 1 bigger. So for the nth term, I might write a sub n equals. I'm going to leave a little space right here because I got the 5. I got the n plus 1 squared. The little space is to deal with the negative sign. It's going to be negative 1 to some exponent. And so I have to kind of think the exponent. The first term was positive. The next one's negative. The next one's positive. So do I want negative 1 to the n? No. I want negative 1 to the n plus 1. Or you could write negative 1 to the n minus 1. They will both give you the correct sign, because they both would determine negative 1 being raised to an odd power to give me a negative and negative 1 raised to an even power. When n was 1, 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay, negative 1 to the 0 is 1. If I went the other way, when n is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, negative 1 to the second power is also 1. So I'm covered with that. Okay, so there's that question.